Hello and welcome to all my beautiful Virgos. This is going to be your 2026 reading for the year. Mercury is your ruling planet. The planet that's mantra is I think, with reason. Intellect. You like to have movement and transportation. You like to travel. You don't like being in the same place or having things the same for too long. You like to express yourself and you love communication. You are linked to the nervous system, the brain, and respiratory functions. You also rule the 6th house, the house of harmony, communication, and cooperation. You are an earth sign, and you are born between August 23rd and September 22nd. This is the reading I'm going to do for you very shortly. I've cleansed and prepped your space. And let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. I'm Queen Bean Tarot, and today I'm doing a reading for Virgo for the year of 2026. As you can tell, I've actually shuffled and set it all up. I haven't seen what you've got or how it's laid out, but I figured you do like to have things done efficiently, effectively, and quickly is typically good. So for the card that came out from the Oracle, which is sort of like a good way to sort of see as the energy or maybe the main goal of the year, there is always a way. So if you've got goals, or if you're chasing things, or if you're trying to do certain things, there is always a way. There's just probably, you just need to find the way. But yes, very positive card to have showing up for you. I've also already had a heap of these come out. I'm going to do these last after we go through your entire year. So for each one of these, for each month, I've gotten 2 cards. They are 2 different decks, Lucid Dreams and Soulless Divinity. And I will be taking reversals. This is just so we can get more information and see what is like probably the bigger events of like each month. And we obviously, this is not all that's going to be happening in your massive year of 2026. However, that's what the tea leaves are for. So let's dive in. We have for January, we've got Queen of Wands. You've got more of a social butterfly sort of happening, like you are going out more, you're celebrating, you're getting together with friends and family. You are quite passionate and confident. You're probably working on yourself, going to the gym, being very vivacious. Yeah, very noticeable. You also have the Magician. You're manifesting and creating something. You're very determined for something. You might be deciding what your New Year resolution is, or what goals you want to get achieved this year, and you're really going for it. But you are very bright and confident, and just like I'm hearing you're the life of the party. The party don't start till I walk in, specifically. And Virgo, yeah, you're a very social butterfly. You are very social. Let's see, in February we got the Hanged Man but in reverse, so it could be delays and resistance. You might be unable to make choices, and you might also feel a bit stagnant. You guys do like to travel, you like to move about, you like to live sort of freely. And then you also have the Ace of Cups in reverse, so maybe, you know, you've got some unstable emotions, being stuck or stagnant, or, you know, being things not working out is probably affecting you emotionally. This could be from something small, like, you know, a planned trip that doesn't work out and you decide, like, it really upsets you. Or this could be someone You know, you could just be a bit more emotional in this month. It could be a medical reason. It could be, you know, just that for women, we always fluctuate with our emotions. If you're a man, it could be that there's just a lot more stresses in your life, and when you have one thing not work out and then another thing not work out, and then you're like, Jesus Christ, can't something just please work out right? Just one thing, just have something go right, and it's like you just have a big blow up. You do have Two of Pentacles in reverse as well. Overcommitment, disorganization, inability to commit, or struggling to juggle. I've got a feeling this, yous are very hard workers. Yous might have committed to too much, or you have too much work on your plate and it's too much for you to handle. However, I feel like you will deal with it because you're trying to make as much money. You seem, Virgos are very materialistic. They are, you know, an earth sign. So you do work hard for your money. However, you do hold on to that money. You will push yourself to death just to be able to make a living. It's sad, but it's true. You do have the King of Wands, so we've sort of progressed. We've gone from a Queen of Wands to the King of Wands. Now, like I try to say, the Queen of Wands and so a Queen and a King are different. So a Queen is when you're in the progress of getting to what you want, and then the King is once you get there. So the King of Wands is like, maybe you end up changing. This could be that you change your job, or you've stepped up more into a leadership position, or it could be that you're making a bold decision, something that where you're going to be in charge, or you could be changing your big picture. So you might change a goal or an idea or something you were going to do. You've changed what that is, because you guys like to be traveling and live very what's the word, fluid. You just like to just go with the flow. You know, you might actually decide to do something quite big, which is something you're really passionate about too. Recovery after financial loss, or relief or improvement. So you could have an improvement in your finances. This idea or this new job or something could really improve your finances. You could also get recognized because you are social. You might be really good at networking, and that leads to you know, getting a promotion because you have such good relationships with you know, not just your co-workers but your bosses, and also the people you do dealings with. If you work in customer service, or you know, a sales based role, that would make a lot of sense. We have in May, you have the Three of Cups and the Two of Cups in reversed. Okay, this is a little bit of a woo. Sorry, it's like opposites. So this is like getting together, celebrating, having something to celebrate. Maybe having a lot of just a community events happening where you're getting together with people you know and having reasons to celebrate and drink and maybe being recognized. But with the Two of Cups in reverse, there's troubled relationships and a loss of balance, a separation. If you are in a partnership, maybe this new job or this new work or the extra pay that you're sort of trying to get or save up for is like, the job is taking you away from family and love person, and it's actually affected your relationships to the point of separation, or you can be feeling very imbalanced, like you just work and you're never home. Like, you're never seeing the people you want to see. You're not having as much fun as you probably were at the start of the year. You know, you were living a very wonderful lifestyle. You were being social, and you're manifesting, you're creating whatever life you want. When we get into June, we do have a Queen of Cups. So compassion, warmth, this could be a person, someone who is a healer, or this could be you healing from a breakup for some of you. There could be conflict, competition, opposition, arguments. This could be in a workforce, this could be in the family, especially if there is strained relationships. There could be some conflicts. This could be at work. There is just competition at work. Maybe your job is competitive. This very much could be you being very empathetic. If you work in a place that might, you know, come with, you know, you being compassionate towards people. That is very much possible. But I am getting a bit of, if you have left a relationship or if you break up a massive family relationship, it's going to be something you need to heal from, but also it might have some, what is it, like backlash or some, you know, when you, what is the word I'm thinking, you shoot a gun and it backfires. You get some backfire from this breakup, from this separation, from this trouble that has happened in your relationship, and it does cause some arguments. It could also be with June and July, it is about close to your sort of tax time. Virgos are very hard workers, use materialistic, so gaining money can feel healing to a lot of Virgos, a lot of earth signs just in general. And that could be the case, or it could be that there is like competition. I actually know, I have a friend and he works in the like customer service sort of thing, sales, but everyone in the industry, they all do their tax about the same time, and they're all sort of competitive with what they're getting back. Like maybe it's something as simple as that, and it's sort of like that laugh and that like getting along and communicating with work friends and stuff. Maybe that's all you needed to be like, oh, I am in the right place, you know, I am in the right job. Like it's like you just need to be, what's the word, like reminded that you are in the right place for your life, like at this time. Okay, so as we're coming along, yeah, this is very, very fitting. King of Swords, you've got really good boundaries. You are connected to communication. You do love very solid communication. You don't like miscommunication. You will explain the same thing over and over. You will get annoyed that you had to explain the same thing over and over, but you'd rather do that than not do that and have someone just thinking that this is exactly what you wanted when it's not. You are gonna be, so I'm pretty sure this, I feel like this is probably when you first get a position and you're very passionate about it, and you've slowly worked until you've got into this sort of like a step up or a different way of doing this position, like this authoritative position. Like maybe you started off like being really passionate and excited and very like that, oh, they're the cool boss, you know. And slowly, from working in this job, learning how it happens, learning about, you know, what you deal with and what you do, it's like you sort of have skilled up, like you know what to expect, how to expect it, and they're like, oh, they became a bit more, you know, they got really high standards, they're very authoritative, they know what they want, and they're very strict with it. You become more of a strict, less of a playful, more of a strict. That is definitely possible. Another thing is that you could just be, I'm hearing if you did have a breakup, you probably have higher standards now for the kind of persons or people you would have in your life, or you will allow in your life, because the people that you have in your life and you allow them in your energy and in your vicinity and allowed to see you in vulnerable situations and talk to you and know certain, like, you know, sensitive information about you that you want to share with others, they have, technically, you've given them power to be able to harm you in an emotional way. They could even harm you in other ways with information they have of you. And I think you might have learnt that, and you know now what the standards of the people you are allowing into your life. So you're doing a little bit more head over heart. You need to be smart and think clearly before you allow people to have access to your heart and know that sensitive side of you. And you can be very sensitive. Virgos can be extremely caring and empathetic, nurturing people. They really are. They're very, very, they have feminine energy, so they're very fluid and caring. Even males, very fluid and caring. This is actually put with temperance. So you've found a balance, a very moderate balance where you feel more harmonious. So even though some people might say you're more strict than that, this is you channeling this more strictness is actually keeping you safe, and you finally have found a balance. And it could be with one part of your life. It doesn't have to be all parts of your life. It could be your relationships and connections, or it could be your work life. It could be making money. You found a balance with that. It could be you finally found a balance with mental health issues, or a mentality, or a way of thinking, or something like that. Because this is swords, it is mental energy, and also this is temperance. So temperance is someone who can manifest things, but they have a lot of patience, they have balance, and as you can see, they're pouring one cup into another. They're the alchemists. They created this harmony, they created this balance. So I feel like this is you have strived and created this. It didn't happen overnight. You had to heal, you had to go through a lot. And I feel like, Virgo, you do go through a lot. You've experienced a life that most people would never have thought that someone could experience or should experience, and not you. When they look at you, like, but how are you this person if this is all the stuff you've gone through? Like, it doesn't quite, like, what they perceive you as and what your life has really been like is not lining up in their view, in their eyes. So yeah, you have a lot of strength and you have the ability to deal with it, unfortunately, but it is what it is. You are stronger now for it. As we're getting into August, we are getting closer to your birth date. So let's see. You're okay. So we do have the King of Swords here, and then we have the Two of Swords here. So I feel like you are obviously trying to balance things out. The Two of Swords is about making decisions, and it could be avoiding certain decisions because you're a little worried. You don't know if you have all the answers, or it's a very difficult decision. It would be like if you're a new boss and you're like the big boss and you're in charge of firing misconduct, and it's the first time you have to do it, and you're a bit like, oh, like you doubt your ability to do it, or to be clear, or to be kind, or not strict enough, or not professional enough. It's like, you can do it, but you also don't really want to face it. But there is also, like, Two Swords. This is balancing. Like, you've got two swords, so it is like you're still in a balance. With the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, this could be feeling insecure. If this is something else, like, I just use the whole firing someone as a scenario. It doesn't mean you're going to be firing people. Doesn't mean you won't be. But with this, I am seeing this choice you have to make. It's as if you got to make one decision or the other. You can't choose both, sort of thing. And once you make a decision, you're not going to know if it's the right one or not until you yield a result from it. You might be looking at the other decision you let go and like, oh my god, that was the missed opportunity. I should have chosen the other one. It's like when you're making a choice between ice creams and you go, do I go with the Maxi Bon or do I go with the Paddle Pop? And then you choose the Paddle Pop and you're like, no, I really wanted the Maxi Bon, but you can't have it now because someone else bought it and it was the last one left. Sorry, that was a little triggering for me. Joking. I feel like my Virgos have a sense of humor if I'm saying and thinking that. I also feel like you might overthink a lot of stuff because you want to be as clear and be very organized, but also you want to be sure you're making the right decision. This might be why you're very hum-ha. You don't know. You're always 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. This could also be you make a decision, but it's a costly decision. Like, literally, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's like if you bought a house, if you're humming between two houses and you bought one house and it looked so good on paper, but it turns out that it's like riddled with termites and there's a lot of plumbing issues, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be a huge expense, and you go, oh, I should have chosen the other house. It's something like that. It could also mean that you make a choice and you spend money and you sort of regret it later. This is sort of this area is all your birthday area, you could be spending money on yourself as well. And then later on, you know, the whole when you spend money and then you feel guilty for spending money. I feel like that is happening. Or you could also be you're someone who you spent money and you had that good feel fix for a little while, and then you regretted it after because it wasn't absolutely necessary. However, we do have a Page of Swords. We have a message coming in. If it isn't a message, it is new information. This could be you are waiting for something in the mail. You're waiting on communication, something to come back to you. This could be to do with this massive expense, because it could be a small expense. Maybe you're trying to resolve it. Yeah, okay, so you're waiting for something to come through, but it's not gonna happen as quick. It might be to do with this missed opportunity. Maybe you reach out to try and, you know, fix your decision. It sounds like that's all I'm hearing. There's something that this communication or dealing with, or the information you're waiting for, you might be waiting for correspondence or something, it is delayed. You're not going to hear about it right away. If you're waiting to hear from someone, let's say you ask someone out and they don't respond back, it's okay, they will eventually. You might be very overwhelmed when you find this person. I'm not saying that this is directly connected to this, and I'm not saying that this isn't connected to this. It could all be connected. I'm feeling it's a bit connected, but I'm also like, this could get resolved before October. I feel like you guys might meet someone during your birthday. And it's not the highlight during this time, but it becomes a highlight in October. You might get into a new partnership with someone, make a really close connection. You will be very overwhelmed with emotions, my guys. And with Virgos, like I mentioned that scenario where it's like you ended up hardening yourself up a little bit because you opened your heart up and it hurt, and now you're trying to control your emotions, like not allowing this person in, but like it hurts you so much when you do let someone in and it doesn't work out. And I've got a feeling you're a little afraid of committing so quickly as well, but when you know it's right, it's right. We'll find out what else is happening. November, you've got 2 reversals. So we got Strength in reverse, which means you're doubting yourself, or you lack of confidence. You might be more vulnerable, which does make sense with the fact that we do have like feeling a bit compromised. You might be lacking in nurturing yourself. If you have someone in your life and you're pouring some energy into them, that energy has to go from one other part of your life into that part of your life. So you might be like not nurturing yourself or taking as good health care of yourself, like, you know, taking care of your skin, nails, you know, bathing, simple stuff like that. And you're not putting as much effort into yourself. You're probably not hitting the gym as often or something like that, because you're putting more effort and energy into this partnership or whatnot, whatever this, you know, you love, this new thing that has a new spark. Because of that, you might be, you know, lacking taking care of yourself. And this is, it's causing a lot of insecurity, a lot of vulnerability. Both of these cards are about insecure and being vulnerable. It doesn't mean it's a negative insecure or vulnerability. It could just be you are currently, it's as if your chest is opened up, and it's been like that for quite a long time. It feels like it's going to be like that for quite some time. Emotionally manipulative and abusive, cold, moodiness, withdrawn, selfish, and anxious. This could be you during December due to the fact that you have been extremely open for too long. You are typically very don't like to open up like that. I feel like a lot of Virgos would not like that. And it could have an outcome where you know, become withdrawn. You might need some time away to sort of get into the balance you used to have earlier in this year. Oh, well, 2026. With the Wheel of Fortune, though, there will be changes. There is going to be, you know, the changing of a cycle. And we are closing off a year. This is 2026 that will be closing off. So it is like the spinning of a wheel. This could mean that you have a lot of good luck come your way, or you have, you gain a lot of material wealth, or a lot of presents or something, like you're given a lot of good stuff. Virgo being, you know, an earth sign, that is quite fitting. You might also, whatever it is that you are wanting is what you get. You might also have destiny, like you might find the right fit. You might find, even though this is like, you know, being emotionally manipulative and abusive, cold, moodiness, withdrawn, selfish, whatever, you might actually, this might actually be due to figuring out that this person is your lover, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not good enough for them, oh my god, you know, like, and you guys can be like, Virgos can be self-deprecating or self-destructive. Like you go, I'm the greatest, but then you're like, oh, but I do this and do that. Like, you know your red flags, but you know your green flags, and you sort of flip and flop back and forth. One moment you're like, I know what standard to hold to the people who I let in my life, and then you're like, later on you're like, oh, that's so good and that, and look at me, I'm emotional wreck and I'm not good enough for them. Like, you know, especially once you've been open for so long to this person, they might ask you to marry them. It will be something that is destined by fate. You could be coming into a lot of money. You could be, it could be something that will withdraw you. I feel like you're going to be quite withdrawn this December, or you're going to be extremely emotionally unstable because your scales aren't balanced again. That's what happens when you open yourself emotionally. You can, unfortunately, be at the point where everything is going to be, you're susceptible to emotional burnout, or emotionally being unstable, or emotionally wrung out. Let's see if we can get some more information for your year. Shield, you need to defend yourself. That's definitely fitting. You had a lot come out, like a lot. Parrot, someone will gossip about all your secrets. This could be what causes fights. Elephant, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. That really feels like this healing. The fact that we have the Queen of Cups upright, and then we end with the King of Cups, it feels like we get back to the point where we need to heal. Like, people think, oh, you heal and it's done. It's not. It's a continuous evolvement, like evolution. Let's see, we have success. You have a lot of success. You will be successful. Basket, recognition, reward for merit. Let's see. We also have career. I feel like you guys really do focus on money and career. You need to be stable and have so much in the bank to be happy. Heart, love, deep affection, and caring. Ear, good news. I keep hearing, what is it, Futurama, where the old man walks in and goes, good news, everybody. September. Okay. So this is the one where we're waiting, like possibly on communication, or we're waiting on someone, but it's delayed. So do know that when things are delayed, it's typically for a good reason. Jug, light-hearted, carefree time. I'm definitely feeling that at the start of the year. Like, you're going out, you're having fun, you're manifesting the life you want, and you're happy and you're enjoying the moment. Good fortune. This is definitely coming through with the beetle. Hammock. Taking a vacation physically or mentally. This doesn't have to mean you physically travel. The fact that we didn't get any like real traveling like cards this year is a bit surprising, but I feel like there's a lot other things happening that you might actually be you know, doing a lot of healing to the point that a traveling might not be in your calendar. Gavel, involvement with the law. This, I'm feeling this could be here, or it could be, it's either August or October, I'm hearing. And that's because we have this Two of Swords, like a balance. There is also your Temperance. But yeah, there's something with the law. This could be like this could be something as small as like, you know, a speeding ticket or something. Cracked cup, dissatisfaction with life, and I definitely feel that in this sort of area when you start changing things up. Clouded, temporary problems. Wreath, sorrow over a loss. Yeah, you do have a loss for sure. Tulip, great passion. Pig, beware of greed. Yeah, it might be the reason you push yourself so far to the point of sickness or being unwell. Or if it's your only focus, then you will, you know, drop the ball in other areas of your life. Diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Bow, you are highly thought of. Bat, take care. Enemies are working against you. There is someone who is gossiping behind your back. Teapot, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Cup, you should accept valid criticism. And Horseshoe, good luck. Oh, that sounds like a beautiful ending. Good luck, guys. Wow, you have a full-on year. Do remember we had this card come out. There is always a way. And this is shown in the year that you're going to have. It doesn't mean that it's only going to be career you're focused on, or money you're focused on, or relationships. It means that everything is going to be happening simultaneously in every part of your life throughout the whole year, and some things will be more eventful, some things will be less eventful. You might have multiple things happening at the same time. You know, it just means that if there is, I'm hearing that song, if there's a will, there's a way, and I gotta say, well, I don't know the rest of it, I only know that few little words, but if you know it, check it out. Yeah, if this resonates, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. I do a lot of readings. I'm sort of hoping that this can become my full-time sort of thing. But yes, let me know if it resonates. Come back in a year if you ever remember. I highly doubt anyone will, but yeah, you never know. So this is only for 2026, and yeah, I'm leaving you guys with lots of love, light, and positive vibes, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.